Long ago, at the edge of a peaceful valley, there was a prosperous village called Anandapuram. The villagers were hard-working people who depended on farming, cattle, and trade. Every morning, the streets filled with the cheerful sounds of milk sellers, vegetable vendors, and children running to school. Among all the shopkeepers in the village, one man was considered the richest. His name was Raghavan. Raghavan owned the largest dairy business in the region. His shop sold milk, butter, curd, paneer, cream, and pure ghee. From sunrise until sunset, customers lined up outside his store. People believed his products were the best. At least, that was what they thought. Behind the smiling face that greeted customers every day lived a man whose only true love was money. Every evening, after the shop closed, Raghavan would count his earnings again and again. "No matter how much I earn," he often muttered, "it is never enough." His elderly assistant, Gopal, had worked with him for many years. Unlike Raghavan, Gopal believed that honesty was the greatest wealth. Whenever customers praised the quality of the dairy products, Gopal smiled with pride. But slowly, he began noticing strange things. One night, after everyone had gone home, Raghavan secretly poured water into several large cans of milk. Gopal watched silently. "Master," he said gently, "this isn't right. These people trust us." Raghavan laughed. "They cannot tell the difference. A little water means a bigger profit." Gopal tried to reason with him. Money earned through dishonesty never stays. Raghavan ignored the warning. Days passed. The amount of water mixed into the milk increased. Soon, Raghavan began adding cheap cream to the butter. Later, he mixed low-quality cooking fat into the ghee. Each dishonest decision earned him more money. Each dishonest decision also pushed him further away from the respect he once enjoyed. One afternoon, a poor widow entered the shop. "My grandson is sick," she said. "The doctor told me to feed him pure milk." Raghavan handed her a pot filled with diluted milk. She thanked him with tears in her eyes. Gopal felt ashamed. That night he could not sleep. He wondered how long such deception could continue. Meanwhile, news spread across the kingdom that the king's daughter would soon celebrate her birthday. A grand feast was announced. The royal kitchen needed the finest dairy products. Every merchant hoped to receive the order. A few days later, royal guards arrived at Raghavan's shop. "The palace requires fresh milk, butter, and 50 jars of pure ghee," the captain announced. Raghavan bowed respectfully. "It will be delivered before sunrise." As soon as the guards left, panic appeared on his face. He checked his storage room. There wasn't enough pure ghee. There wasn't enough fresh milk. There wasn't enough butter. Gopal spoke carefully. "We should tell the palace we need another day." Raghavan shook his head. "If we refuse, another merchant will take our place." "But we don't have enough stock." Raghavan smiled. "We'll make enough." That evening, he ordered several workers to mix large quantities of water into the milk. Then he melted cheap cooking fat and blended it into the ghee. The color looked almost the same. The smell was similar. To ordinary customers, the difference would be difficult to notice. Gopal watched with disappointment. "This will end badly." Raghavan answered confidently, "No one will ever know." Before dawn, several carts carried the dairy products to the royal palace. The royal cooks inspected everything quickly. Everything looked perfect. Preparations for the feast continued throughout the day. Musicians performed. Guests from neighboring villages arrived. The palace shined with celebration. The king personally welcomed every visitor. The birthday feast became one of the grandest events in many years. Everyone praised the delicious food. Late that night, however, something unexpected happened. Several important guests complained of severe stomach pain. The royal physician hurried from room to room. Soon, more guests became ill. Even members of the royal family felt sick. The king immediately ordered an investigation. Nothing in the vegetables appeared spoiled. The spices were fresh. The rice was perfectly cooked. Only one ingredient seemed suspicious: the ghee. The chief royal cook examined the remaining jars carefully. He heated a small amount over a flame. A strange smell filled the kitchen. "This isn't pure ghee," he whispered. The king frowned. Find out who supplied it. The dairy merchant from Anandapuram. The king did not rush to punish anyone. Instead, he chose to discover the truth himself. The next morning, 2 trusted officers visited the village disguised as ordinary travelers. They bought milk from Raghavan's shop. They secretly marked the container. Instead of leaving, they waited nearby. Later that evening, they quietly watched through a small window. They saw workers pouring buckets of water into fresh milk. They watched Raghavan stirring melted cooking fat into large containers labeled pure ghee. One officer looked at the other. "We have all the proof we need." The following morning, royal guards surrounded the dairy shop. Villagers gathered outside. Nobody understood what was happening. The captain stepped forward. "Raghavan, by order of the king, you are under arrest for cheating the people of this kingdom." Raghavan trembled. There must be some misunderstanding. The guards uncovered the hidden containers. They showed the diluted milk. They revealed the cooking fat. They displayed false labels prepared for sale. The villagers stared in disbelief. Many remembered feeding that milk to their children. Others had purchased the same ghee for religious ceremonies. Several people began crying. An old farmer stepped forward. "I trusted you for 10 years." Raghavan lowered his head. He had no answer. He was taken to the royal court. The courtroom filled with merchants from every corner of the kingdom. The king looked calmly at the accused man. "Raghavan," he said, "you were already wealthy. Why did you choose greed?" Raghavan fell to his knees. "I wanted to earn more." "At what cost? You endangered innocent families. You placed profit above honesty." Still no answer. The king called Gopal to speak. Gopal bowed respectfully. "I warned him many times, Your Majesty." "Did he listen?" "No." The king nodded. "A person's greatest wealth is not gold." He paused. "It is trust." Turning toward the gathered merchants, he continued. "When a customer buys food, they place their health and their family's safety in your hands. Anyone who betrays that trust harms the entire kingdom." Raghavan finally broke down. "I was blinded by greed." The king answered, "Regret after being caught cannot erase the suffering caused." As punishment, Raghavan's business was permanently closed. He was ordered to compensate every family who had purchased adulterated products. He also spent many months performing community service under royal supervision, helping farmers and caring for village cattle. The king chose this punishment so that Raghavan would understand the value of honest labor. Meanwhile, Gopal received permission to reopen the dairy shop under his own name. His first promise to the villagers was simple: no shortcuts, no cheating, only honest work. Slowly, customers returned. The milk was pure, the butter was fresh. The ghee was genuine. People willingly paid a fair price because they trusted the man behind the counter. Years later, children would hear the story of the dishonest merchant and the honest assistant. Parents used it to teach an important lesson. A dishonest person may earn quick money, but honesty builds a reputation that lasts a lifetime. Moral from the story: greed may fill your pockets for a short time, but honesty fills your life with trust, respect, and lasting success.